Hello and Namaskar. मैं हूं आदित्य जैन and I welcome you to this video series. I have been associated with UPSC for 5 years. I have also mentored students for UPSC and state PSCs as well. So I'll make sure इस वीडियो सीरीज से आपके मार्क्स मैक्सिमाइज हों. Here we'll cover Spectrum Publications Modern India by Rajay Vihar का लेटेस्ट एडिशन. इस बुक को थोरोली रीड करने के साथ इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शंस हाईलाइट किए जाएंगे और साथ ही यूपीएससी एंड स्टेट पीएससीज में आए हुए क्वेश्चंस भी बताए जाएंगे so that you never miss the important part. There will be 50 to 55 lectures of 30 to 35 minutes each. अगर आपने ये सीरीज़ 3 से 4 बार देख ली तो ये बुक डेफिनेटली आपके दिमाग में छप जाएगी एंड आपका रिवीजन भी आसान हो जाएगा. तो अगर आपको रिवीजन के साथ साथ वैल्यू एडिशन भी करना है तो ये सीरीज़ पूरी देखें. आपको बस अपने पास ये बुक रखना है और सुन के जो मैं बताऊँ वो हाईलाइट करना है. सो विदाउट एनी फर्दर डिले लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड.
Hello students, welcome to Ghatna Sutra. Today we shall start Unit 8 that is towards freedom and partition 1939 से 1947. ठीक है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एग्जाम पर्सपेक्टिव से ये पूरा चैप्टर, तो आप उसी हिसाब से पढ़ेंगे. ठीक है, सो इसमें आएगा एक पार्ट, यहाँ से पूरा प्रीलिम्स वाला पार्ट पूरा शुरू हो जाता है. उसमें आपको बताते चलूँगा कहाँ कैसा क्या रहा है. ओके, ये सेकंड लास्ट पार्ट है हमारे पूरे सीरीज़ का. राइट, तो चैप्टर 22 नेशनलिस्ट रिस्पॉन्स इन द वेक ऑफ वर्ल्ड वॉर सेकेंड. Congress crisis and method of struggle. In aftermath of civil disobedience movement, there was some disarray with the Congress. In Gandhi's perception, there was a rising corruption and indiscipline in the Congressionalization. He was also unhappy with the rivalries and petty squabbles among the Congress leaders. There were issues of bogus membership and unethical means employed in trying to getting into the Congress committee and controlling them. Gandhi firmly believed that the Congress should first put its house in order before the movement could again be launched. ठीक है, ये वाले पूरे एग्जाम से आपको ऑफकोर्स प्रीलिम्स प्लस मेंस के हिसाब से इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, ये आप इंपॉर्टेंट इसको ध्यान रखेंगे. ठीक है, इसका इंपॉर्टेंस. बिसाइड ही ऑल्सो फेल्ट दैट मासेस वर नॉट इन द मूड ऑफ स्ट्रगल. देयर वर अदर हु फेल्ट दैट द स्ट्रगल शुड कंटिन्यू. हरिपुर एंड त्रिपुरा सेशन, सुभाष चंद्र बोस व्यूज़. ठीक है, ये दोनों सेशन के बारे में बहुत बार मल्टीपल टाइम स्टेट पीएससीज वगैरह में पूछा जा चुका है. ठीक है ना, और यूपीएससी में भी ऑफकोर्स एक बार पूछा जा चुका है, तो इसको हम अभी तो डबल मार्क करते हैं. देखते हैं यूपीएससी वगैरह में पूछा गया होगा तो ट्रिपल स्टार मार्क करेंगे. ठीक है, सुभाष चंद्र बोस वॉज प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ बंगाल प्रोविंशियल कांग्रेस कमेटी. कौन था भाई? बंगाल प्रोविंशियल कांग्रेस कमेटी के प्रेसिडेंट थे. His main area of work lay in organization of the youth and promoting the trade union movement. Bose did not agree with Gandhi on the other leaders of the Congress on many aspects of the struggle of the freedom. He, along with Jawaharlal Nehru, opposed the Motilal Nehru report. कौन भाई? ही अपोज्ड. ठीक है, जवाहरलाल नेहरू के साथ अपोज द मोतीलाल नेहरू रिपोर्ट विच स्पोक ऑफ डोमिनेंट स्टेटस ऑफ इंडिया. बोस वॉज ऑल फॉर फुल इंडिपेंडेंस. ही ऑल्सो अनाउंस्ड फॉर्मेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस लीग. ठीक है, इंडिपेंडेंस लीग इनने बनाई थी. ठीक है, when the Lahore Congress session was under Jawaharlal Nehru presidency, adopted a resolution that the Congress goal would be Purna Swaraj. Bose fully endorsed this decision. He was again fully active in the Salt Satyagraha movement in 1930, forcing the government to arrest him. He was vehemently against the suppression of the civil disobedience movement and the signing of Gandhi-Irwin Pact in 1931, especially as the government refused to negotiate on the death sentence of the Bhagat Singh and his associates. From all this, we got a clear idea that Bose was a man of action and radical ideas. ठीक है, बेसिकली ये कर लिया. अब देखते हैं दोनों सेशंस के बारे में प्रीवियस ईयर पूछा गया. तो हरिपुर सेशन में क्या होता है? एट द कांग्रेस मीटिंग इन हरिपुर गुजरात इन फरवरी 1938, Bose was unanimously elected president of the session. He was firm of his belief that the Congress ministers in the provinces had immense revolutionary potential, as he said in the presidential address. Bose also talked of economic development of the country through planning and was instrumental in setting a national planning committee later. The session adopted a resolution that the Congress would give moral support to those who were agitating against the governance in the princely states. Right? In the following months, the international situation was highly disturbed. There were clear signs that Europe was going to be embroiled in war. राइट, तो अब देखिए यहाँ पे अपॉर्चुनिटी ढूंढते हैं सुभाष चंद्र बोस. तो 1939 में सुभाष बोस विंस बट कांग्रेस फेसेस इंटरनल स्केपर्स. ठीक है, छत्तीसगढ़ पीएससी वगैरह में ये सब बार बार पूछा जा चुका है. ठीक है ना, आप याद रखेंगे. इन जनवरी 1939 सुभाष चंद्र बोस डिसाइडेड टू stand again for the president post of the Congress. Gandhi was not happy with the Bose candidature. Bose said he represented the new idea, ideology, problem and program that had come out of the progressive sharpening of the anti-imperialistic struggle in India. However, Sardar Patel, Rajendra Prasad, J.P. Kripalani, and some other members of the Congress Working Committee pointed out that it was in various Congress bodies such as Working Committee that ideology and program were developed. Moreover, the position of the Congress president was more of constitutional one, representative and symbolic of the unity of the nation. They favored the candidate supported by Gandhi. ठीक है, इन सब ने फेवर किया गया गांधी जी का सपोर्ट, नेमली पट्टाभी सीतारामैया. बोस वॉन द इलेक्शन. देखिए, बोस वॉन द इलेक्शन बाय 1580 वोट. इतनी ज़्यादा पॉपुलैरिटी थी कि सुभाष चंद्र बोस हैड वॉन द इलेक्शन. Again, in 1377, he got the full support of the Congress, Socialist Party and Communist. Gandhi congratulated Bose on his victory, but also declared that Pattabhi's defeat is my defeat. ठीक है, now it became the Gandhi versus Bose issue. ठीक है, त्रिपुरी सेशन में क्या हुआ ये भी पूछ चुके हैं पहले. इन मार्च 1939, देखिए त्रिपुरी सेशन मतलब कांग्रेस सेशन, ईयर याद रखिए, कौन थे भाई प्रेसिडेंट, दोनों में बोस थे. ठीक है, इन मार्च 1939 द कांग्रेस सेशन टुक प्लेस इन त्रिपुरा नहीं है, ये त्रिपुरी है, इन द सेंट्रल प्रोविंस नियर जबलपुर इन प्रेजेंट डे मध्य प्रदेश. इट वॉज ऑब्वियस दैट ऑल was not well within the Congress. The working committee, the ruling body of the Congress, is not elected by nominated by the president. Ruling body यानी कि it is not elected. Working committee is not elected but nominated by the president. The election of the president is thus a constitutional opportunity, though through which the membership expressed the nature of the leadership of the Congress. With Bose's victory, the polarization in terms of ideology and method of future struggle was clear. Thus, the election of Bose in the face of an opposition of the official machine led to a sharp inner crisis. Subhash Chandra Bose had accused the working committee leaders of being ready to reach a compromise with the government on the matter of federation. Now, those leaders felt they could not work with a president who has publicly cast doubts on their nationalistic principles and resigned from working committee. ठीक है, Bose was ill when Tripura session took place, but he attended it in a presidential speech. He prophesied that an imperialistic war was about to take place in Europe. He declared, in the first place, we must give clear and unequivocal expression to what I have been feeling for some time in the past, namely that the time has come for us to raise the issue of Swaraj and submit our national demand to the British government in the form of ultimatum. He was in favor of giving 6-month ultimatum to Britain to grant national demands of independence. If the ultimatum was rejected, he said a mass civil disobedience movement should be launched. ये फेवर में थे भाई, ऐसे इनको चलाना था पूरा बेसिकली कि अल्टीमेटम तो 6 महीने का, अगर 6 महीने का अल्टीमेटम में नहीं दिया तो सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट लॉन्च करेंगे मास का, पूरी मास के सपोर्ट के साथ. In his opinion, as Bose was to write letter, the Congress was strong enough just as the masses were ready for such struggle. He felt the advantage should be taken of the international crisis to strive the independence. Gandhi, on the other hand, had firm in the belief that it was not the time for such ultimatum, as neither the Congress nor the masses were ready for the struggle. He was also aware that there were communal discord and class strife and lack of unified vision, and that this would undermine any movement. A resolution was moved by Govind Vallabh Pant, reaffirming faith in Gandhian policies and asking Bose to nominate the working committee in accordance with the wishes of the Gandhi. And it was passed without opposition from the socialist and communist. Apparently, the left was also not keen in disregarding Gandhi's leadership. However, Gandhi said that he would not like to impose a working committee on the president, and that Bose was the president, he should choose the member of the working committee and lead the Congress. Bose continued his effort to win Gandhi's confidence but did not succeed. Bose refused to nominate a new working committee. Bose wanted an immediate struggle led by Gandhi, whereas Gandhi was firm in his belief that the time was not ripe for the struggle. The problem was that ideologically Gandhi and Bose were on different platforms. Gandhi was not willing to lead the Congress struggle based on the radical lines preferred by Bose, even as Bose was not willing to compromise on his ideas. Gandhi was of a view that he would either lead the Congress on the basis of his own strategy and style of politics or surrender the position of the leader. In his reply to a letter Bose, Gandhi wrote, the views you express seem to be so diametrically opposed to those of the others and my own that I do not see any possibility of bridging them. मतलब बोल दिया था आपके और हमारे व्यूज इतने अलग हैं ना कि हम दोनों साथ में काम नहीं कर सकते, हमारे आइडियोलॉजी साथ में नहीं हो सकती. Bose has misjudged the support he got in his elections. Even the socialist and the communist from the other, for most part of, were not keen on a split in the Congress. They realized that the split would reduce the left, which was not very consolidated at the time, to a splinter group. They preferred a united Congress led by Gandhi, as the national struggle was of utmost importance and the Congress was at the time the main organ of this struggle. In this circumstances, in the circumstances, Bose saw no option but to resign. He resigned from the president post in April 1939. ठीक है, ये भाई इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है, ठीक है। अभी आप देखेंगे बोस, वेट देखिए, but he resigned from president of post in 1939, led to the election of Rajendra Prasad as the president of the Congress। ठीक है, ये पूछा जा चुका है पहले प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन उत्तराखंड यूपीपीसीएस में, ठीक है। तो भाई कब रिजाइन किया? 1939 में, और कौन बना? राजेंद्र प्रसाद नए वाले बने थे, ठीक है, प्रेसिडेंट उसके। द क्राइसिस इन द कांग्रेस हैड बीन ओवरकम फॉर द प्रेजेंट। इनमें बोस एंड हिज फॉलोअर्स फ्रॉम द फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉक, ये भी एक क्वेश्चन बन चुका है, फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉक एट मकूर उन्नव एज अ न्यू पार्टी विद इन द कांग्रेस। अब ये याद रखिए, विद इन द कांग्रेस है, अलग से कांग्रेस पार्टी नहीं आई थी, बोलते कांग्रेस के ही अंदर एक ये पार्टी है, ठीक है, फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉक। बट व्हेन ही गेव एन कॉल फॉर ऑल इंडिया प्रोटेस्ट on July 9th against AICC resolution, All India Congress Committee resolution, the Congress Working Committee took disciplinary action against Bose. In August 1939, he was removed from the post of President of Bengal Provincial Congress Committee, beside being debarred from holding any elective office in the Congress for a period of 3 years। ठीक है ना। चलिए, ये एक टाइम पे क्या हुआ था कि अमंग द रेजोल्यूशन एट त्रिपुरी वॉज एन इंटरेस्टिंग वन रिलेटिंग टू चाइना। द कांग्रेस सेंट इज ग्रीटिंग टू द पीपल ऑफ चाइना एंड इट्स डीपेस्ट सिंपैथी इन देयर ट्रायल एंड प्राइवेशन ऑफ इन देयर स्ट्रगल अगेंस्ट against ruthless and inhuman imperialism. It congratulates them on their heroic resistance. The Congress expresses its approval of the sending of a medical mission on its behalf to the people of China, and trust that this mission will continue to receive full support so that it may carry on its work of secure effectively and be worthy symbol of Indian solidarity with China। ठीक है, यहाँ पे कंप्लीट होता है। अब ये देखिए, ये है इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, गांधी एंड बोस आइडियोलॉजिकल डिफरेंस। अब इसमें आप बोर हो जाएंगे, मैं बता रहा हूँ, पढ़ते बहुत लंबा है, क्योंकि ये देखिए बहुत लंबा पार्ट है, लेकिन ये पार्ट है ना प्रीलिम्स से ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। यहाँ तक लंबा पार्ट है, ये देखिए, यहाँ तक पूरा पढ़ना है अपन को, इतना ज़्यादा। तो फटाफट है ना पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे अपन, लेकिन थोड़ा दिमाग खोल के, कि भाई आपको अंडरस्टैंड ज़्यादा करना है, कुछ पॉइंट्स निकल के आएंगे और हाईलाइट करना है, ठीक है। कुछ प्रीलिम्स से इंपॉर्टेंट होंगे, लेकिन ये पार्ट पूरा बहुत मेजर इंपॉर्टेंट है मेंस के लिए। क्यों? क्योंकि यूपीएससी में ये मेंस में 2016 में इससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन आ चुका है, डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आया। ये लिखा है गांधी एंड बोस आइडियोलॉजिकल डिफरेंसेस। गांधी एंड बोस के अप्रोच में और आइडियोलॉजी में क्या डिफरेंस था, बेसिकली ये पूरा इसमें बताया गया है। प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन है, 2016 का मेंस का देखना है क्वेश्चन, ये देख लो आप, ये लिखा हुआ 2016 का यूपीएससी का क्वेश्चन है। हाईलाइट द डिफरेंसेज इन अप्रोच ऑफ सुभाष चंद्र बोस एंड महात्मा गांधी इन द स्ट्रगल ऑफ फ्रीडम। ये है उसका पूरा आंसर, ठीक है ना। ये पूरा आंसर, यही आंसर है, यहाँ से निकाल के पॉइंट्स बनाने हैं आपको बुलेट में, और वो आंसर बन जाएगा, ठीक है ना। तो कितना इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट हो गया, लेकिन पूरा मेंस के हिसाब से। तो आप फिर जल्दी पढ़ना शुरू करिए, ये पूरा पार्ट इसका आंसर है इस क्वेश्चन का, ठीक है। ओके, तो इसको आप मेंस के हिसाब से रख लीजिए भाई, इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है ना, ये पूछा जा सकता है आपसे। ओके, गांधी एंड बोस, अब देखिए फटाफट पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है। गांधी एंड बोस हैड अ डीप रिस्पेक्ट फॉर वन अनदर डिस्पाइट देयर hugely differing ideology. Each appreciated the work done by the other in the national struggle for freedom. In 1942, Gandhi called Bose the prince among the patriots. गांधी जी ने बोला था भाई, ठीक है, prince among the patriots. When the death of Bose was reported, Gandhi said that Netaji's patriotism is second to none. His bravery shines through all his actions. He aimed high and failed, but who has not failed? On another occasion, Gandhi said Netaji will remain immortal for all the time to come for his service to India. Bose was fully aware of Gandhi's importance as a symbol of Indian nationalism and called him the father of the nation, father of our nation। तो भाई ये किसने बोला है भाई, प्रिंस अमंग द पेट्रियट्स गांधी जी ने बोला है बोस को, और फादर ऑफ द नेशन बोस ने बोला गांधी जी को। इन अ रेडियो ब्रॉडकास्ट फ्रॉम रंगून इन 1944, even though in the same speech he expressed his own conviction that force was not only the way to win freedom from the British. When forced to resign at the Tripura session, Bose said he would yield to none in my respect for his personality, मतलब गांधी जी की, adding that it will be a tragic thing for me if I succeeded in winning the confidence of other people but failed to win the confidence of India's greatest man. Later, Bose said that the service which Mahatma Gandhi had rendered to India and to the cause of India's freedom is so unique and unparalleled that his name will be written in the letters of gold in our national history for all the time। ठीक है, जो कि बाद में हुआ भी ऑफकोर्स, ठीक है। बहुत बता रहा हूँ आइडियोलॉजिकल ज़्यादा है, तो आप थोड़ा जल्दी पढ़ के इसको समझिए ज़्यादा, ठीक है। इंसिडेंटली बोथ मैन कंसिडर्ड सोशलिज्म टू बी द वे फॉरवर्ड इन इंडिया, दो in a slightly different ways. Gandhi did not subscribe to the Western form of socialism, which he associated with industrialization, but agreed with the kind of socialism advocated by Jayaprakash Narayan. Both Gandhi and Bose were religious men and disliked communism. देखिए थोड़े थोड़े वो भी हैं सिमिलरिटीज, मतलब अलाइकनेस. Both worked against untouchability and spoke for women's emancipation. But they differed widely in their ways and methods and in their political and economic ideology. Non-violence versus militant approach. ठीक है, ये पहला दिखाएंगे कि भाई सबसे पहले क्या कहाँ पे क्या थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस था. नॉन वायलेंस एंड मिलिटेंट अप्रोच में थोड़ा सा गांधी वॉज अ फर्म बिलीवर ऑफ अहिंसा एंड सत्याग्रह, द नॉन वायलेंट वे टू गेन एनी गोल. ही बिलीव दैट इट वॉज द वे इन विच द मासेस कुड बी इन्वॉल्व. ठीक है ना, तो गांधी जी का बिलीव क्या था, अहिंसा एंड सत्याग्रह. ठीक है, in which the masses were he objected to the violence firstly because an unarmed mass had a little chance of success in the armed rebellion, and then because he considered violence as a clumsy weapon and which created more problem than it solved, and left behind hatred and bitterness which could not be overcome through reconciliation. Bose believed that Gandhi's strategy based on ideology of non-violence would be inadequate for securing India's independence. To his mind, violent resistance, किसका बोस का क्या था, violent resistance alone could oust the alien imperialist ruler from India. He considered the Gandhian civil disobedience campaign as an effective means of paralyzing the administration, but did not think it to be efficacious unless accompanied by a movement aimed at total revolution that was prepared if necessary to use violence. Means and ends की बात करते हैं भाई. सेकंड पॉइंट है means and ends important है. Bose had his eyes on the result of action. When war clouds hung over Europe, he saw the situation as an opportunity to take advantage of British weakness. He believed in seizing whatever opportunity was available to carry forward the struggle for freedom. He openly criticized the British for professing to fight for freedom of the European nation under Nazi control, but refusing to grant independence to its own colonies, including India. He had no compunction in taking the help of the Nazis and the fascist and later Imperial Japan, the Axis power as they came to be called when the war broke out, even though he believed in freedom and equality and other liberal ideas and disapproved of the arrogant racialism of the Nazis and the suppression of the democratic institutions in Nazi Germany. As his writings show, however, he admired Nazi and the fascists for their discipline. Both supporters point out that his association with Germany and Japan were dictated by the revolutionary strategy and not by ideological kinship. In other words, he was just a pragmatist. He was against the fascist theory. देखो, he was against the fascist theory of racial superiority and fascist acceptance of the capitalism. ये थोड़ा सा बोस का व्यू है, आप याद रखेंगे. Against the racial superiority and the fascist acceptance of the capitalism. Gandhi felt that non-violent way of protest that he propagated could not be practiced unless the means and ends were equally good. मतलब दोनों ही भाई तरीके भी और आखिरी रिजल्ट भी सही अच्छा होना चाहिए. One could not just use any means to achieve an end, however desirable that end may be. It would be against the truth, and that should guide one in all actions. Besides, he had a deep dislike for the ideas of fascist and the Nazi and would not think of using them ally against the British, especially when the latter were in a difficult situation. He saw Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan not just an aggressor but a dangerous power. Gandhi himself said the difference in outlook between him, yani ki Bose, and me as to means is too well known for comment. Bose acknowledges that Gandhi's method had their importance when he said in his speech from Tokyo, though personally I believed that this method will not succeed in bringing us complete independence, there is no doubt that it has greatly helped to rouse and unify the Indian people and also to keep up a movement resistance against the foreign government. ठीक है, यहाँ पे खत्म हो गया. फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट के में देख लेते हैं भाई. समझ गए ना, मीन्स एंड एंड्स की बात हो रही है. ऊपर वाले में समझा दे रहा हूँ भाई. सिंपल बोला गया है कि भाई मीन्स मतलब कि जो मीन्स है यहाँ पे मीन्स है गांधी जी के लिए क्या है मीन्स, है ना. यहाँ पे आप समझिए जो मीन्स की बात करी गई है ये गांधी जी के लिए कैसा है. गांधी जी बोल रहे हैं यहाँ पे नॉन वायलेंस होना चाहिए मीन्स, नॉन वायलेंस होना चाहिए मीन्स, है ना. तो मीन्स ये और रिजल्ट क्या होगा, रिजल्ट है इंडिपेंडेंस. अब यहीं पे बोस साहब क्या बोल रहे हैं, बोस बोल रहे हैं कि मीन्स कुछ भी हो, बेसिकली ये बोल रहे हैं कि वॉर एक प्रकार से एजिटेशन, एजिटेशन है ना, थ्रू मिलिट्री एक्शन, मिलिट्री एक्शन, एजिटेशन थ्रू मिलिट्री एक्शन, और रिजल्ट यानी कि एंड, बेसिकली एंड इनका भी क्या है, फ्रीडम या फिर इंडिपेंडेंस। समझे? तो गांधी जी भाई बोल रहे हैं कि भाई मीन्स भी नॉन वायलेंट अच्छा होना चाहिए, मीन्स भी अच्छा होना चाहिए और एंड भी अच्छा होना चाहिए। बोस बोल रहे हैं मीन्स कुछ भी हो, एंड इंपॉर्टेंट है, इंडिपेंडेंस दोनों में, दोनों का एंड सेम है बट मीन्स में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस है, ठीक है ना, यहाँ पे याद रखेंगे। ओके, यहाँ पे ये पढ़ लिया, अब आगे बढ़ते हैं फटाफट। Form of government in, देखिए, in his early writing, Bose expressed the opinion that democracy was to be acceptable political system for India, but later he seemed to have veered towards the idea that, at least in the beginning, a democratic system would not be adequate for the process of nation building and the eradication of the poverty and social inequality. In an address to the student in the Tokyo University in 1944, Bose is quoted as saying, "You cannot have so-called democratic system if that system has to put through economic reforms on a socialist basis. Therefore, we must have a political system, a state of an authoritarian character." ठीक है भाई, अब ये यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा आप समझेंगे कि भाई रेडिकलिज्म है थोड़ा सा। देखिए, डेमोक्रेसी वॉज एक्सेप्टेबल पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम फॉर इंडिया, है ना, बोस ने बोला है, बट लेटर ही सीम, पहले तो इन्होंने बोला है अर्लियर, पहले ये बोला है ये, फिर ये बोला है कि भाई सेकंड फेज में उन्होंने ये बोला है कि भाई पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम, अ स्टेट ऑफ एन अथॉरिटेरियन कैरेक्टर चाहिए स्टार्टिंग में ये चाहिए, बाद में डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम वुड नॉट बी एडुकेटेड द प्रोसेस ऑफ नेशन बिल्डिंग, है ना, एडिकेशन ऑफ पॉवर्टी एंड सोशल इनइक्वालिटी, पहले ये बोला, फिर बाद में लेके भले ही आ जाना, लेकिन पहले तो अथॉरिटेरियन कैरेक्टर वाला चाहिए। व्हेन बोस प्रोक्लेम्ड ऑन October 21, 1943 द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द प्रोविंशियल गवर्नमेंट ऑफ आज़ाद हिंद, देखिए कब बनाई है, अक्टूबर 1943 में, प्रोविंशियल गवर्नमेंट ऑफ आज़ाद हिंद, फ्री इंडिया। ही हेल्ड ऑन हिज पोस्ट इन सुप्रीम कमांडर ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल आर्मी and also named himself head of state, prime minister and the minister for war and foreign affairs. इतना सब खुद को डिक्लेयर कर लिया। He anticipated retaining the position of the head of the state in a free India. This, say some scholars, indicated the authoritative streak of Bose. ठीक है, इनने बोल दिया कि भाई अब तो चलेगा तो हमारा ही, ठीक है ना, बेसिकली। As early as 1930s, Bose expressed the opinion that in India there should be a synthesis of basically what modern Europe calls socialism and fascism. We have here the justice, the equality, the love, which is the basis of socialism, and combined with that, we have the efficiency and the disciplines of fascism as it stands in Europe today. He called this Samyavad. Basically, ये believe करते हैं साम्यवाद। Bose admired discipline and orderly approach to anything. He admired these qualities in a fascist of Italy and in the Nazis of Germany. Indeed, it is clear from his letter that despite his dislike of colonial power and his desire to oust the alien British rule from India, he was impressed by the methodological and systematical approach of the British and their disciplined way of life. Bose, however, was not a Nazi. देखिए important है, Bose, however, not a Nazi nor a fascist. ठीक है, not a Nazi or a fascist. For he supported empowerment of women, secularism and liberal ideas. Neither was Bose a communist. ये important है भाई, neither was Bose a communist. ठीक है, Bose communist भी नहीं थे, नहीं तो आप यहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हो बार बार तो बोल लिख दो कि हाँ, he considered himself a socialist थे, but that was a very different thing from being a communist. He laughed at the idea of internationalism as sponged by the communists. He said nationalism was important before going on to internationalism. He also felt that the theoretical idea found in Marx's writing could not be applied in India without a lot of modification, nor did he disregard religion, which was important for him. Bose was a leftist in the sense that he was an anti-imperialist and believed in attaining complete independence. After his achievement of independence, Bose considered leftism would mean socialism, and reconstruct a national life would have to be on a socialist basis. Indeed, it would appear from many of his writing that after an initial stage of authoritarian rule, there could be formed a new India and happy India on the basis of the eternal principles of liberty, democracy and socialism. यही बोला था ना मैंने कि भाई पहले बोल रहे हैं कि भाई हम थोड़ा सा ऑटोक्रेटिक हो जाते हैं भाई, अथॉरिटेरियन हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि हमें डेवलपमेंट करना है, फिर बाद में डेमोक्रेसी ला जा सकती है सोशलिज्म लाइंस पे। गांधीज आइडिया क्या था? गांधीज आइडिया ऑन गवर्नमेंट कैन बी फाउंड इन द हिंद स्वराज, इन्हीं ने लिखी हुई है, हिंद स्वराज 1909। इट वॉज अ नियरेस्ट ही केम टू प्रोड्यूसिंग अ सस्टेन्ड वर्क ऑफ पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी। गांधीज आइडियल स्टेट इज राम राज्य, यूथोपिया है ना, उथोपिया है इनफैक्ट, थोड़ा सा समझ रहे हैं ना। It did not need a representative government, a construction or an army or a police force. कुछ नहीं चाहिए. Capitalism, communism, exploitation, and religious violence would be absent. Instead, the country was to be modeled on the India of the past. In many ways, Gandhi's writing call for a pre-modern, morally enlightened and apolitically Indian state. Swaraj lays stress on the self-governance through individuals and community building. At the individual level, Swaraj is vitally connected with the capacity of dispassionate self-assessment, ceaseless self-purification, and growing self-resilience. Gandhi said, "I look upon an increase in the power of the state with greatest fear, because although while apparently doing good by minimizing exploitation, it does the greatest harm to mankind by destroying individuality, which is at the root of progress." He was skeptical of the party system and sure that representative democracy could not provide people with justice. He advocated a state, देखिए important, stateless society in which life becomes perfect. ये गांधी जी का व्यू था. ठीक है. Gandhi was opposed to centralization. He believed in the decentralization of political as well as economic power, and this could come about only by beginning from the basic unit. In his vision, Swaraj society would be composed of innumerable, ever-widening, never-ascending village republics. The basic unit would be village. देखिए basic unit क्या थी? Village होगी, है ना? Village whose people will always abide by the ideas of truth and non-violence. ठीक है. Every village would be a self-sufficient republic. On panchayat, self-sufficiency did not mean that in times of the need, help could not be taken from other villages. The panchayats, the unit of local self-government, will consist of 5 persons, male, female, elected annually. It would represent the village community and be custodian of the all authority. Moreover, it would be an autonomous political institution in context of village administration. Significantly, Gandhi said, in the ideal state, there is no political power because there is no state. Important line in an ideal state, there is no political power because there is no state. But the ideal is never fully realized in life, and the classical statement of Thoreau that the government is best which governs the least is worthy of consideration. Judith Brown writes, Gandhi seems to have visualized a loose linkage of independent village republics as the ideal form of state. He can therefore properly be an anarchist, properly be called an anarchist. ठीक है. In Gandhi's view, democracy would not be possible without high morality. It is morality that develops a sense of responsibility in human beings, and the strength of the sense of responsibility would help them to respect and protect the right of each other. Gandhi laid more emphasis on duty than on rights. इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन है. ये सारा मेंस का काम है. मैं समझ रहा हूँ आप थोड़ा फ्रस्ट्रेट हो रहे हो पढ़ने में, बट ठीक है, पढ़ लीजिए. मेंस का ये इंपॉर्टेंट है. मेंस के हिसाब से थोड़ा सा अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप होगी तो इसके लाइन्स पर और भी क्वेश्चन आएंगे तो बनेंगे आप पे. ठीक है. Militarism. Subhash Chandra was deeply attracted to military discipline and was thankful for the basic training he received in the university unit of the Indian Defence Forces. He volunteered to form a guard of honor during a ceremonial function at the Calcutta session of the Congress in 1930, and it was done on a massive and a grand scale. Bose in a full dress uniform renewed his troops. Gandhi and most of his supporters were uneasy of his display. Gandhi was against the military on the whole. His Ram Rajya, being built on the concept of truth and non-violence and self-regulation, would be perfect place and would not require either police or grandiose armies. All efforts must be made to arrive at a peace rather than go for war. War, said Gandhi, demoralizes those who are trained for it. It brutalizes man and a man of naturally gentle nature. The main cause of war, according to Gandhi, was racialism, imperialism, and fascism in the context of Second World War. ठीक है. He also listed economic inequality and exploitation as additional cause of war and instability in the international system. If these were eradicated, there need not be any war. He was not against defensive war. If the innocent were attacked, there was no option but to defend oneself. So of course the military was required for self-defense, but it was to be on a minimum scale. भाई ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन छोटे स्केल पर रख के ले गया. आइडिया ऑन इकोनॉमी क्या था? गांधीज कॉन्सेप्ट ऑन स्वराज Gandhi's concept on Swaraj, important point है ये भी. Gandhi's concept on Swaraj had its own brand of economic vision. He wanted to decentralize economy. क्या है, गांधी जी ने क्या बोला था, डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड इकोनॉमी चाहिए भाई हमको, ठीक है ना, एक जगह पावर कंसंट्रेशन नहीं, विदाउट अ स्टेट कंट्रोल, विदाउट स्टेट कंट्रोल. गांधी डिसमिस्ड बोथ कैपिटलिज्म and Western socialism, the former for its exploitative access and the later for its connection with industrialization. Both, he believed, led human beings to carve out luxury and self-indulge. Gandhi wanted people to get rid of greed and make do with just the bare necessity of life. He developed the idea of village सर्वोदय. विलेज कैसे होने चाहिए, सर्वोदय होने चाहिए. कैसे? He advocated a back to roots vision when production of the simultaneous and consumption and distribution and the vicious circle of money economy was absent. ठीक है, production was for immediate use and not for distant market. What he wanted was the revival of the ancient village communities in which agriculture prospered and industry was a decentralized business through small scale cooperative organization. He also wanted the participation of people at all levels. In the letter he wrote to Henry Pollack in 1909. Yeah, he also wanted participation of people at the all levels. ठीक है, Pollack in 1909. Gandhi expressed the view that India's salvation lay in unlearning what had been learned. He wanted the railway, telegraph, hospital, lawyers, doctors, and other modern tapering to be discarded, and the so-called upper class to learn to live the simple life of a peasant. He was against the large scale industrialization. He had strong objection to labor saving machinery. मैं देखिए against large scale industrialization थे. Men go on saving labor till thousands are without work and thrown on the open streets to die of starvation. He was not against instruments and machinery that saved individual labor. He wrote, the mechanization is good when the hands are too few for the work intended to be accomplished. It is an evil when there are more hands than required for the work, as in case of India. The capitalist who, थोड़ा बड़ा है भाई ये वाला, थोड़ा सा है ना, थोड़ा पकड़ के रखेंगे इसको. The capitalist who amassed wealth was a thief, according to Gandhi. In the opinion, if a person had inherited wealth or had made a lot of money through trade and industry, the amount was to be shared with the entire society and must be spent on the welfare of all. He put forward his theory of trusteeship, under which he wanted the capitalists to be trustees and as such would take care of not only themselves but also others. The workers would consider the capitalist as a benefactor and would keep the faith in them. ठीक है, so there would be mutual trust and confidence, and as consequence the ideal economic equality could be achieved. Bose considered economic freedom to be the essence of social and political freedom. He was all in favor of modernization, which was necessary to be brought about by industrialization. He believed that India, बोस ने क्या बोला था, बोस कहते हैं economic freedom to be essence of social and political freedom. यही important है बस इतने में. He believed that India's downfall in the political and material sphere had been brought about by the people's inordinate belief in fate and supernatural accompanied by the indifference to the modern scientific development, especially in the field of war weapons. He felt that backward agriculture had to be modernized. The labor that was outsourced from the agriculture sector as a result of such modernization could be helped only with the development of industry, which could absorb the surplus labor from the agriculture. In the speech at the Haripur Congress session, Bose expressed his opinion that the India to progress a comprehensive scheme of industrial development under the state ownership and state control would be indispensable. And he spoke about the need to set a planning commission to advise the national government. He also spoke about abolition of the landlordism and liquidation of the agricultural indebtedness. He was much impressed by the success attained by the Soviet Union in economic development through rapid industrialization within a short period of time. Bose had his reason for demanding industrialization for India. It would solve the problem of unemployment. Socialism, he said, was the, देखिए, it would solve the problem of unemployment, ठीक है ना, इसलिए industrialization चाहिए. He said was to be the socialism was to be the basis of national reconstruction and socialism presupposed industrialization. Moreover, the industrialization was necessary if India were to compete with foreign countries. Industrialization was also necessary for improving the standard of living of the people at large. Both classified industry in three categories: heavy, medium, and cottage. And बोला था heavy industries, he said, form the backbone of the national economy, but he was fully aware of the great importance of the cottage industry. Industrialization does not mean that we turn our back on cottage industry. It only means that we shall have to decide which industry should be developed on the cottage basis and which on the large scale basis. ठीक है भाई, तो हमने इकोनॉमी भी पढ़ लिया है, अब पढ़ेंगे हम रिलीजन, लेकिन ये हम पढ़ेंगे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, ठीक है। सो टिल देन स्टे कनेक्टेड। आई नो ये थोड़ा सा लेंदी हो रहा है, हेक्टिक हो रहा होगा, बट ठीक है, मेंस वाला ही पार्ट है तो आप इसको समझ सकते हैं, ठीक है। ओके, थैंक यू, स्टे कनेक्टेड।